Hello, welcome to Algorithms. My name is Saurabh, and in this presentation, we are going to discuss about how do you protect your organization from inbound traffic when you are using Azure platform. And this reference architecture is aligned with the Australian Cybersecurity Center guidelines and the requirements. So this is going to be a very short presentation, as I already explained the ACSC security requirements, and since ACSC certifies different vendors as well, just like I mentioned about CIS, so there are specific requirements. I explained some of them in my previous presentation. So when it comes to network security, most of the requirements are pretty much same as I explained, but in this architecture we are talking about the incoming traffic. So if you are involved in design or implementation of network security and incoming traffic controls, you must first understand how incoming traffic works within Azure across both infrastructure as a service and platform as a service. And this diagram is going to help you understand those components. So from the architecture perspective, as you can see the diagram, there are so many components for DDoS protection. DDoS is distributed denial of service, traffic manager, express route private peering, express route Microsoft peering. So these are the different services which are exhibited in the form of network component, and these services have different function. For instance, traffic manager, Azure Traffic Manager is a domain name system based traffic load balancer that can distribute traffic to services across Azure regions. Similarly, private peering is a connection between the on-premises environment and private Azure virtual networks. Now, there are infrastructure as a service inbound components, and there are platform as a service inbound components. So ingress is inbound actually. So network interface, when I'm saying infrastructure as a service, so network interface, subnet, virtual network, VNet peering, public IP, express route gateway, VPN gateway, and pass VNet integration. These are the inbound component for infrastructure as a service. When you are using platform as a service, then host name, public IP, and service endpoints. These are the three components you have to consider from the security control perspective when you have implemented, when you are looking at PaaS, platform as a service inbound components. Security control perspective, network security groups, pass firewall, pass authentication and access control, and Azure policy. So these are the implementations that you need to look at. These are the components that you need to look at when you are implementing security controls in your PaaS environment. I already explained about the IaaS environment, DOS, traffic manager, express route, and so on and so forth. So these are the different components. From the general guidelines perspective, you can focus on some of the specific areas, like limit the number of entry points to virtual networks. You can limit the number of IP addresses. You can utilize products with inbuilt security capabilities for inbound connections from the internet. Similarly, you can configure systems to use encryption mechanism in line with the ACSC consumer guidance and ISM. You can use identity-based protection such as authentication and RBAC, which is role-based access control. In addition to traditional network controls, you can implement VPNs for administrative traffic and integration with external networks. You can use Azure policy to restrict the regions and resources to only those that are necessary for system functionality. So as I said, means different tools serve a different purpose from the security control perspective, depending upon what you are trying to secure, what is the risk exposure, what is the impact. And it's not a simple exercise where you pick up a tool and implement all the security controls. So it's not that straightforward. You have to look at all the different components and what is relevant for your organization. Based on that, you go ahead and do it. So, and what I just explained is the just general guidelines from the focus perspective, what you can do. But these components it's complete from the services perspective, and from how it works, and what are the considerations that you need to make when you are using IaaS inbound or PaaS, platform as a service inbound components. So I already explained, you take care of them, and you read about them as well if you are not aware that how it works. From the additional resources perspective, you can look at the topics like ACSC cloud security for tenants, ACSC information security manual is a highly recommended to read that manual, understand the different standards, guidelines, and security controls that you need to implement. Azure virtual data center, you can also read about that. Apart from uh, component guidance, I would say DDoS protection, how you configure it, how you procure it. Procurement is easy because if you have licenses within your organization, or if you have already bought it for different services, it's not a difficult task. But how do you configure it and make sure, because you are paying for each service that you are using, so a conscious selection of services which are aligned with your security principles, as well as protecting the valuable assets, that's very important. Similarly, traffic manager, express route, you can read about these things, since the goal of this presentation is not to go through each component configuration, but to explain at high level how it works, how it interacts with the different components that we did. So if you have any specific requirement regarding a specific component like PaaS VNet integration, we can discuss about that. You can just drop a comment in comment box, but I cannot commit when, but definitely I'll cover those topics, because the topics that I cover uh, are basically depends on the what people are asking for, what is relevant in the industry at this point of time, and what people are struggling with most of the organizations. So that's my focus, that people should get the right information at the right time, so that they don't wait for the things to get done, and they are going to expedite their projects as well. So our goal is to make sure you get the right information from the architecture perspective, innovation perspective. When I say innovation, it's all about new products, new features that are coming in the market, so you get exposure to them right away, and in a very short overview, plus some detailed aspects as well. I guess this is it from my side. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.